So let's go to running quotes and getting underwriting. So the biggest training, in my opinion, is not so much what the product will do, because we know what the product should do for the client. It should pay when they die. It's really, come on. That's the other part is underwriting. Like, how do I know my client will fit into it? Okay, and this is where you just get all freaked out, about the client get freaked out about, I don't know what to show the client. I hear that all the time. I don't know what to show the client. I was like, okay, I told you that CVS Aetna was for final expense. I told you that Forrester's Strong Foundation was for term. And then if they're really, really sick, we go Great Western for guaranteed issue. Okay, so what are you saying to me? Well, I don't know what product to pick. Okay, what lead did they send in? Well, they sent a final expense lead. Okay, if they sent in a final expense lead, chances are they're looking for a whole life product, a policy that will stay in place the rest of their life. It's got a lower face amount, so it should cover a $25,000 funeral, a $5,000, $7,500 cremation, whatever they can afford, and it'll stay in place the rest of their life. And we've got two products that can handle that, the whole life or the guaranteed issue if they're really sick. Okay, so I already told you CVS and Great Western. So what's your next question? Well, I don't know what to write the client. Okay, so I get that all the time, and it just cracks me up, and so I try to be patient, right? So I'm going to make your job super easy, and it's worth $15 a month with this underwriting tool. Okay, so you never have to come to me anymore. You shouldn't have to. Like, I don't mind that you do. I'd rather talk about stuff that'll help you grow, as opposed to telling you stuff that you keep asking me all the time, and I'll tell you the same answer, and it's still not a good use of my time to help you, because my time is more valuable to help you with more important things, right, than how to run a rate. I mean, I can help you with that, but that's why we're doing this, so we can show you how to be resourceful. So underwriting, how do you find out if the client's health situation will work for a particular product? Okay, so I'm going to introduce you to our fantastic underwriting tool. It not only underwrites the client, but also creates quotes for the client. Okay, when I show you this, you're never going to have to ask me ever again on how do you know if a client fits into a product. Okay, and let me say, this is 95% good enough. It doesn't cover 100%. Like, it still has a few glitches in it, but I'm telling you what, man, 95% is good enough for me. Okay, so where do you get this fantastical tool? Okay, you go to resources, and then you go to Alliance Underwriting Tool. Now you get a free 30-day trial, and then it's $15 a month thereafter. Okay, and this guy's happy because he's closing sales with it, and he's only been in the business 1 month. He's having a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Anyway, so to sign up for it, you put your NAA number, put your full name, email address, and you go to step 2. And step 2 is where you pay for it. Okay. Now, if you've already signed up for it, you just click on login. I love this tool, man. This thing's just, it makes my job so much easier. So much easier. So let's okay. Are you guys all with me so far? Is this stuff kind of making sense to you a little bit? Okay. All right, so now you purchased the tool, now you're inside the tool. So you're going to see quote compare. This is kind of a cool tool right here, the quote compare. Drug lookups. This is where you determine on final expense if their drug will decline them or not. So you can just look it up real quick here. Health cheat sheet. This is just breaks out the health situations. You determine, what their health situation is. Settings, general settings. This is where you can embed this inside your website, which is kind of cool. And then customize carriers. This is the most important tool because it narrows down all the carriers that are part of this tool into something more manageable. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to use that. So you've got final expense up here at the top menu. You've got FEX is final expense, and then term is, guess what? Term. Okay. I never go into the CRM really. Count, whatever. I just stay, either I'm quoting a term product or final expense. Okay. So here's, as a brand new person, what I want you guys to do is I want you, because I told you those 4 carriers, CVS, Great Western, and then for term, Forster's, Strong Foundation, and Columbian Financial Group or Columbian Life Group, Safe Shield. Okay. I told you about those 4 carriers, right? So all I want you to do is run quotes and underwriting just on those 4 companies. I don't want you to get all crazy and put every single one on here because you're going to doubt yourself. Go, well, how come it says this company? I've got 5 companies. Shouldn't I quote all 5? It's like, oh God, Lord have mercy. Can you write all 5 of them? Are you contracted with all 5? Can you do every single electronic application with all 5? It's like, okay, if you want to do that, call me 6 months from now when you're a master at all 5 electronic applications. So I'm going to make this, remember, my whole purpose is to make this easy for you. Let's press the easy button. Okay. Are you guys all for easy? Are you all for making money sooner than later? Are you all for making money next week versus next month? Okay. I hope your hands are raised. Okay. Again, don't make it more complicated than it is. Please, Lord have mercy. Okay, so this is where you're going to make it so easy on yourself. So, okay, let's make sure we're in final expense. Okay, and then customize carriers. And let's just stay at the top here. The bottom here is for your widget, for your website. If you want to just let your client on your website run, specific carriers, honestly, you don't want to give them all. You pick it here, but let's just stay in the top part. So I said Aetna, right? So we'll make sure it's in this yellow because yellow means it's chosen. So Aetna, actually, no, not this one. We don't want Aetna because that's more of a, we don't want that one. We want CVS Aetna. So you see it's already picked. This is final expense, remember? So we're not wanting CVA, Columbian Financial Group, CFG for final expense. Again, we're making it easy. We chose Great Western. And then CVS, oh, this is Montana. So if you're in Montana, but this CVS is the one we want, Great Western. You see how simple you've made your life? We're only going to look at 2 carriers, okay? And then on the term, let's do the same thing. On the term, let's go to customize carriers. And, we've got CFG. Let's choose Forster's or Forster's Strong Foundation. Okay. Now, if you have a large case, like someone who's, needs 500,000, 750,000, $1 million, whatever, you can go Forster's your term. Okay. Their minimum is 100,000 face value. So if you want to quote a large case, then you would choose this. But again, we're only going to do simplified issue. Large cases, your term requires a medical. We don't like paramed exams. So we're going to keep it simple, simplified issue. So we're going to just have CFG and Foresters. Okay. See how I made your life super simple there? Okay. So that you do that on customized carriers. So let's go to final expense. Okay, we're at the Quota Tool. So this is where you input all your clients' information, their drug information, then you run quotes. Okay, so on my training website, okay, you guys are probably already, some of you are not licensed yet, so don't freak out. This is where you would get the training, beyond what I'm teaching here. But on the product section, I have worksheets at the bottom. Okay. Practice case studies. Okay, right here. So let's go through one. Let's take Wonder Woman. Okay, I've got the case study answers. Okay. And then let's bring up the case studies. So let's start with Wonder Woman. Okay, so this is the health intake form, which is on my website. So the health intake form is a form that you can download here. So it helps you take the information from the client. So it's right here. There's a Word version and PDF version. When you bring it up, it's going to look like that. Okay. And so I've already filled out for Wonder Woman. Okay. So Wonder Woman, age 55, you can put date of birth, whatever you want. Non-smoker, 5'9", 270. So she plays right guard for the New York Giants. That's why the record is so good. Just kidding. Sorry, Sam. I'm not sure if you were a Giants fan or not, but I have buddies who are diehard Giants fan.
Yes, I am, unfortunately.
I suffer with them every football season on Facebook. My buddy, he wears his emotions as a New York Football Giants fan, and I'm just suffer with them. I'm not a fan one way or the other. I mean, I liked them when they won the Super Bowl because it's cool seeing Eli Manning win a Super Bowl.
Yep. But thank God here in Vegas, we got the Raiders now, so at least I got something to cheer for.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, so notice here the section on cancer, heart attack, stroke, diabetes. She has nothing. She's good there. She's good on any lung issues, kidney failure, but she's got these situations. She's got diabetes, no complications. Okay, so that's good. Metformin, and she was diagnosed 4 years ago. So when she was 51 years old, metformin, HCl. She has high blood pressure, controlled high blood pressure. Losartan potassium is the medication she's taken. And she started that 8 years ago. And then stroke. She had a stroke 12 months ago. She's taken warfarin for a stroke, started that 12 months ago. And so we're going to show her option 1, 2, and 3. This is final expense. So this is from a final expense lead. You see at the top. So it gives you, this worksheet tells you what you want to know. So we're going to show her 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. Okay. So Alex, what do we do with this information? Well, let's show you what I would do with this information. So if I can, I'm going to pull this here so I can read it better. Okay, so let's go to our Quota Tool. So let's just start with age 55. So let's start with 10,000, female. Let's just start with level. I just default everything to that. Ohio. She's 55, so it's 1964. Okay, 55 years old. What was her weight? 5'9", 270. 5'9", 270. She's a non-smoker, right? So let's go back and look. Yay, non-smoker. Cool.
Alex, we're seeing a swimming screen. I don't know if we're supposed to be seeing
Oh.
a swimming screen, but
Yeah, thanks for thank you. Okay, so I picked up all this information. I transferred it to the tool. So age 55. So I made up a birthday to get to age 55. 5'9", 270. Okay, right here. Non-smoker. Now notice the smoking thing. Cigarettes and other nicotine products, occasional pipe, cigar use only, other nicotine products, which if they're on a patch, for example, trying to get off of smoking. Okay, it's very specific because certain carriers will cover that as non-smoking, depending on what category they're in. And then bank draft. So they're either bank draft or direct express, Social Security direct express card, credit card or debit card, because there are companies that won't accept credit or debit card, but if that's the only way they can pay, or direct express cards the only way they can pay, then it's going to limit your choices, and it may not be any of the ones that you're contracted with. So this is where you're going to have to call me and say, hey, I've got this client that has, so let's just say with the bank draft, they can do bank draft. Okay, so let's type in their health conditions. So let's get their health and their medications. So what do we find out about their health? Diabetes, no complications. Okay, so let's type in diabetes. Oh, look, no complications. Okay, data last treatment. So we said, so treatment means they took medication. So, they took medication for diabetes. You take that daily, I guess. So they were treated with medication. So just click next. I just defaulted to today because they're data diagnosis. So what do we say? They're diagnosed 4 years ago. So we're going to put in 4 years ago. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2018. Finish. Okay. Now we're going to put in the medication that they're taking for it, which is metformin, started 4 years ago. Metformin. Diabetes, no complications. Data last use. Again, they probably just took it. Okay. Now they started it when the first fill their medication. They started that medication 4 years ago. So 2018. Then finish. Okay, so you got their diabetes input in here. See how cool this tool is? Now high blood pressure. So let's choose high blood pressure. Losartan started 8 years ago. So health condition, high blood pressure. Controlled. The last two, I just, again, they're taking this daily because I am on blood pressure medication daily. And then medication is losartan, right? Losartan. Which one was it? Potassium. Sartan, potassium. Like all these reasons. The reason is important, okay? Because it can put them in one category or another or the whole life. So you really got to be very specific. So it's controlled high blood pressure. Let's just assume they're taking it every day too. I mean, you're asking, by the way, you ask these questions when you're filling out the form with the client. How long have you been taking this medication? Right? Do you take it daily? When's the last time you took the medication? When did you start taking the medication? Because these forms, the client isn't going to submit this form to you. You have to ask the questions to fill the form out, okay? So data first fill, what would we say? Losartan was 8 years ago. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so you got that done, finish. So we took care of the diabetes, took care of the high blood pressure. Now they had a stroke 12 months ago, warfarin, they're on a blood thinner, it started 12 months ago. So let's put in, stroke is pretty serious. So let's put STROKE, stroke. Yeah. Okay, so look, when they say, well, I had a stroke 12 months ago. Okay, was it a hemorrhagic stroke? Was it just a regular stroke or transient ischemic attack stroke, TIA, right? So you're going to learn what to ask when you're seeing. So it's just a regular stroke. So that was 12 months ago. So that was 12 months ago. Finish. And then what medication they're taking? Warfarin sodium. Also started 12 months ago. Some medication. Warfarin. It's important to get the spelling of the medication with the client too. So they're taking warfarin because they had a stroke. Their stroke, they're taking it every day, currently taking, right? And then date of first fill was a year ago, 2019, finished. Okay, so notice you have all the stuff put in, their sex, just initial coverage option just to start it out. Ohio, birth date, height and weight, nicotine use, payment type, all their medications and their health situations. So you click on this magical button, get quote. Now notice we have two options because we narrowed it down to only two that we want to see. So here's what we do. We see that we know we can get them guaranteed issue, but we can also get them the whole life. So let's go to compare, which is this up here, this button here, quote compare. You can get it here. So let's look at CVS Health. What can we do for them, the CVS Health? So what are the face amounts that we want? So the face amounts is 5,000, 10,000, 15. So let's plug those in. 5,000, 10,000, and 15,000. Okay. Or you can check premium. Like if they can only afford so much money, they would choose premium. Like what's the budget for $50 a month? Okay. How much insurance can they get if you just plugged in 50? Okay. So, and then company is CVS. And notice the coverage type went to modified. Why did it go to modified? Because of the health conditions. What is modified? Okay, so modified, we go to the RTFM. You guys can see this, right? You can see you guys can see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Modified, for clients who don't qualify for coverage under the immediate benefit plan, this plan here, modified. The modified benefit plan offers full return of premiums paid plus 10% of interest for the first 2 years. So the full benefit's not going to be available until after 2 years. But if they die, okay, during the first 2 years, they're going to get the premiums they paid plus 10% back tax-free. And then it's also, they don't say this here, but in the training, if they die in an accident in those 2 years, they get the full benefit. So the issue ages are 40 to 75. So if they're like really old, we can't get them this modified benefit. Well, what do we do with them, Alex? Guess what? We got Great Western, because Great Western will cover them. But you can go minimum 2,000 up to 25,000. So you see how these manuals are good to reference. So let's go back to our underwriting tool. Okay, so modified. So let's compare quotes. So click on compare quotes. Wow, look at this. 26.21 a month, 48.91 a month, 71.62 a month. Guess what you're showing your client? 26.21, 48.91, 71.62. But remember, Great Western said they could cover them too. Okay, so let's write these down so we have kind of a basis of comparison. So 2621 for 5,000, 4891 for 10,000, and then 7162 for 15,000. Okay, this is CVS. Okay. So we saw that Great Western also covered them. So when you go to Quota, they see Great Western. So guess what? Super easy. Click here and go to Great Western. Now we can get them level benefits. So Great Western says, hey, you don't got to do the modified benefit. I can cover them for level. It means they can get day one coverage. Wow, that's pretty cool. So let's compare quotes. Wow, that's impressive. So Great Western for 5,000 is 1901. For 10,000, it's 3623. And then for 15,000, it's 4984. Okay. Okay. I am shocked. I am shocked. This is my shocked face. Oh my gosh. So what did we just do? We found them a better product, I think. You guys tell me. But CVS was graded benefit. Oh, that didn't run right. That's running again. Anyway, so CVS for this 5,000, 2621, and it was graded benefit. Their 10,000 was 4891, again graded, and then level graded benefit was 7162, and we can get them level for 15,000. You know, my answer sheet was CVS. So you notice CVS, but you know what? I got to put another block in here and show Great Western. See, because with the Great Western, the whole life, regular whole life has only been available to us for a month. So I did not, I just learned something, gang. So, so I would write them Great Western. I would show them, man, for 15,000, 49.84 a month, baby. Okay. That's pretty cool. That's a revelation to me. Okay, so do you guys have any questions? Do you see how cool this tool is? Any questions on that? Are you guys able to mute? Yeah, it looks like you can mute.
Yeah, we can unmute.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to fix my answer sheet. Okay, so this is what the approved solution was, you know, but all of them will be like this, where you can. Okay, so that's just a basic example, but is that cool or what? So do you see why this is worth 15 bucks a month? So far, how's this sound so far? Does this work for you? Does anyone need me to go through anything again to, you know, clarify?
That's great. I learned a lot from that.
Hey, Alex, that was under what? Under the ARC? That's an underwriting tool?
It's under resources,
Resources, right?
Alliance Underwriting Tool.
Okay, that's Alliance.
Then you sign up for it here. And then once you get sign up for it, you click on login, and then it takes you to this. Okay, so remember what we did when we got into this quota tool. It started on this tab. By the way, it keeps everything. So when you come back to this, it'll save the last thing you did. You know, so you have to make sure you delete everything when you get back in. You will anyway. So remember what we did. We chose final expense, customized carriers. We only chose the ones that we're with, CVS and Great Western. Okay. And then we went to term, customized carriers. We only chose the ones that we're with, CFG and Foresters. All right. Again, I'm just emphasizing right now, you know, emphasizing right now the whole life. Okay. But let's say you have a high roller. Okay. So let's go quote a term, and the high roller wants $1 million of life insurance. Okay. So let me show you how to do that. Let's customize carriers. Let's go with Foresters, your term. And there's another one. I'm just going to go with your term because that's typically our better one for fully underwritten term. So we're on term. So let's say the person wants, let's say 1.5 million. Okay, this is, okay, let's just stay with the male. Let's say they're 55 years old. No, let's just keep it at the thing. They're not smoker. And they're decent health. Let's just say they have high blood pressure. That's weird. Medication. Oh, sorry. I don't know why this is not looking up. Huh. Okay. Probably doesn't matter just because it's fully underwritten. Okay, so let's get the quote. Oh, not offered in Texas. Oh, that's interesting. So let's go with Ohio. That's probably why. I've never run. Wow. Oh, 30-year. Let's go with 20. Huh. That's interesting. Okay, so this is where the quoting tool falls flat because it's not quoting your term. So if I were going to quote your term, I would go to, so this is actually a good exercise. Let's show you. You can go to the carrier, go to quotes, your term. Let's just keep the defaults here. Male, Ohio. Medical, meaning that they have to go through a paramed exam because that's, if they've got a large amount of insurance. Solve for premium amount, leave it on premium. And then face amount is 1,500,000. 1.5 million, get quote. They want to pay monthly. The product is a medical, rate class, non-tobacco. You can go preferred, but I always like to quote just non-tobacco standard because I'm not a medical person, so I don't know if they're going to qualify for preferred or preferred plus. I tell the client, look, your rate could be better because you could qualify for preferred or preferred plus, or you can get declined, but we're just going to go standard health, but it could be better. So I just stay with non-tobacco, calculate quote. So now you see 10-year, 15, 20, 25, and 30 years. So you can do a 25 term with your term. Okay. So 263, 38, 338, 19. Okay. And then there you go. And then you can email the quote to yourself or to the client, whatever. So that's how you quote a large one. And our default that I like to use is Forrester's Your Term for the large cases. Okay. That's the only other one I would know. Okay, does anyone have any questions on writing a large case situation on a term? Again, it is going to the carrier Forrester's quotes. Okie dokie. So that is product. That is how to quote them and doing the underwriting. Okay, so what this tells you is that you need to learn how to fill this out. So when you're with a client, you want to get you really want to get their date of birth. Okay, because the date of birth, some products that we write are nearest age versus attained age. So nearest age is if they're closer to their next birthday, then they have to be written at that birth date, not their current. And then some products are current birth date, which means how old are they now? Okay. So you got to fill that out. I don't put their address right away or their phone number. This stuff I can get later, because it's required on the application anyway. But the highlighted ones, the ones I really need. So what smoking status are they? What is their height and weight? Okay. And so health issues. I want to know, did they see the doctor? So I kind of go through real quick. This is the categories I ask. I go, so Joe, when's the last time you saw the doctor? Okay. Okay, do you have any issues with cancer, heart attack, stroke, or diabetes? I call that the big four, right? Because those are, the three leading causes of death in our country is cancer, heart attack, and stroke. Okay. And then, the complications of diabetes, that's just something that's very common, very popular. So that's why we ask that. So we ask the big four. Then we ask, do you have any lung or respiratory issues? And this is where you're going to find COPD, you're going to find asthma, you're going to find, those are the typical respiratory situations you run into with people. Now, do you have any kidney or liver problems? So what you're looking for is chronic kidney disease. Are they on dialysis? Are they waiting for a kidney transplant? Do you have any problems with that? And then, are there any other health situations that I need to know about that you're dealing with, right? Now, when you get them to tell you, then you want to know what medications are, because medications are an indicator for everything that's wrong with them. Okay, so you want to know exactly what they're taking, how much they take it, how much do they take, and how long have they been taking that medication. Okay, then data diagnosis. So, when you find out they have like diabetes, when were you diagnosed with diabetes? Okay, like it's all right here. Are you taking pills every day for it? What medication are you taking for it? Because you're really wanting to understand so you can plug it into the tool, right? This other is like, so is there any other medications that you're taking? And then be quiet. And I want to know, it's like, you got to tell the client, look, I have to know this so I can be accurate with my quote. I don't want to put you pie in the sky when you're not able to get it, because then you're going to think I'm doing a bait and switch on you. I'm not trying to do that. Okay. And then you have any major surgeries? Okay, there you go. You get all of this, then you're good to go with the underwriting tool. So you see how this kind of is the synergy between what you get from the client and then plugging it into the tool. Okay. Any questions so far on any of that? Okay, remember, I have this recorded so we can go over this. You can go over this multiple times. Okay. So that is in a nutshell product training, man. You know where to go, the ARC and carriers. You can do the quoting tool with each carrier, but I would rather use the underwriting tool for everything. And look what we discovered. The Great Western's a better option than CVS. Who would have thunk?